podcast about the making process.
So this is going to be a nice project this week. This house portrait of a beautiful old white villa in the dunes, close to the beach. White walls are always tricky because they haven't any color and they are just flat. But I'm really happy with all that green, the bushes, the branches, the trees. I'm happy with those sunscreens over here. They will bring color and some drawing as well. And of course that shadow part on the left side. That shadow part on the left side actually was behind plenty of bushes and leaves, and I didn't care. I just made a sketch of that, and then you have a phone call and the client asked me to cut that away a little here and there to show more of the left side of that house. I made pictures from that left side as well in wintertime. And I did a winter sketch as well last week. I think you saw that in the previous video. So I know how that looks, what it looks like. And so I could draw the balcony and the windows over here. And then I thought, yeah, really strange that I didn't think about that. And that's just because I see something and then I draw it and I like it. And it's not my house, you know. It's only a subject. So that's one of the most important reasons why I first make a sketch before I start painting. Because when you have already done the painting and someone tells you that they are quite disappointed because they don't see their house actually behind the bushes, you have really a problem. But it's a lovely subject. It's a dune, a house built on a dune. We don't see the dune here actually anymore. This has become a flat white wall in sunlight. I will not paint that, of course. It will become a dune like it was in the old days. And then here's the road where we enter that home. And the road is now in summertime beautiful, shadowed under lots of leaves. A beautiful dark hole actually where you drive through for reaching that house. What I like in this sketch, I tried to cut away all that green over here, and I tried to make more, to show more of the windows and the balcony, and now it has become a drawing. And when I start a watercolor painting, I start with drawing as well. You see me doing that with a pencil all the time, and then the result doesn't show that much of the drawing anymore. I think I will miss the drawing later in the watercolor painting of this subject. Because flat walls in a painting with only windows, no birds, no animals, no humans, no people, can become quite lifeless maybe. And that drawing brings life in it. So I will leave that sketch over here so that I can check it during the painting, that I can check if the watercolor painting shows as much life as the sketch does. If not, I will maybe draw a little in the watercolor painting as well. Can't wait to start. Let's have a look at the king of watercolor of the 20th century in my eyes. That was John Singer Sargent. He's in this book. This is a book of a group exhibition in the 90s. I remember it was a traveling exhibition from Boston. This is from a collection of a museum in Boston, and it moved to Edinburgh, Scotland, to Amsterdam, Rijksmuseum. My mother, she's a watercolor paint lover as well. She makes watercolor paintings herself, and I remember she asked me if I would like to visit her and my father to this exhibition in Amsterdam. And there was one painting of Sargent that really impressed me, and I still remember that one. And working on this house portrait this week of that house in the dunes made me think of that watercolor. It starts quite early. It starts already in 1861. Well, for me, less interesting, maybe too detailed, showing less life than the paintings we see later. Winslow Homer, this is a nice one. It's a lovely one. Bright, easy, nice composition. And after Homer, the Sargent chapter starts. Yes, Sargent. Yeah, in my eyes, he was a genius. A genius because he was able to make those complex scenes so easy and so simple. When you sit here yourself trying to sketch this, I think it will be horrible. But he was able to make it simple, and you see his peacefully focus in this sketch, in everything. You see that he's really enjoying all those details and using them for his drawing, knowing where to work slower, let the brush longer resting on the paper, and here and there faster, moving faster. It's like music, it's beautiful. This is the painting I was thinking of this week. I was really impressed when I saw this one in Amsterdam. I was a student those days at the Art Academy, and it's beautiful. It's everything and it's nothing at the same time, because we only see a wall with moving shadows on it. In this small left part over here, he shows us where those shadows are coming from, so he paints those leaves sharper in a higher contrast. And then the shadows are so easy and so fast. And that's, I think, the only way to show life and movement in those shadows. And you only reach that with this kind of it doesn't matter attitude, you know. And reaching a certain it doesn't matter attitude is only possible when you paint every single day, because then you become faster and faster, and it doesn't matter if anything goes wrong or not, because you have so much paintings to do and you have already made so many paintings that it doesn't matter if this goes wrong or not. I think half an hour, not more, he was able to paint this. And working on location in this very hot burning sun and that sea breeze, you must have a certain it doesn't matter attitude, because you work so fast, because that paint is already drying when you put it on the paper, because that hot breeze makes it dry so fast. It's meditative. It's showing everything for me what a hot summer day can be. Only in a white wall. I mean, it's nothing. It's really a simple house with a door and a window. So it's nothing and it's everything at the same time. Half an hour, and then still we are really impressed by what we see in a book or in a museum, or It was a very essential short hour that made history for me. So John Singer Sargent, believe me that you check him out this weekend on the web or in a bookshop. I think he was really the watercolor king of the 20th century. Well, about that it doesn't matter attitude. I received this book from one of you and I'm reading it. I'm really enjoying it. The Big Magic from Elizabeth Gilbert. It's a funny book and she talks about things that are really true. And then halfway through there is a chapter called The Central Paradox, and that's her way of explaining that what I call it doesn't matter attitude. It's not the way she describes it, but she completes it by explaining that there is actually a paradox. The central paradox. In conclusion then, art is absolutely meaningless. It is, however, also deeply meaningful. That's a paradox, of course, but we are all adults here, and I think we can handle it. I think we can all hold two mutually contradictory ideas at the same time without our heads exploding. So let's give this one a try. The paradox that you need to comfortably inhabit if you wish to live a contented creative life goes something like this. My creative expression must be the most important thing in the world to me if I'm to live artistically. And it must also not matter at all if I'm to live sanely. Sometimes you will need to leap from one end of this paradoxical spectrum to the other in a matter of minutes, and then back again. As I write this book, this is nice, what she's telling us now. As I write this book, for instance, I approach each sentence as if the future of humanity depends upon my getting that sentence just right. I care because I want to be lovely. Therefore, anything less than a full commitment to that sentence is lazy and dishonorable. But as I edit my sentence, sometimes immediately after writing it, I have to be willing to throw it to the dogs and never look back. Unless, of course, I decide that I need that sentence again after all, in which case I must dig up its bones, bring it back to life, and once again regard it as sacred. It matters, it doesn't matter. Build space in your head for this paradox. Build as much space for it as you can. Elizabeth Gilbert, Big Magic. It was nice to see how that process worked, taking root of that plant. It took this plant around 4 weeks or more to take root. And before I saw a very, very little small piece of root, the first root, there seemed to happen nothing. So I've been waiting 4 or 5 weeks, and then there was a very small root visible, and from that moment it went so very, very fast. And now there are countless roots, and that order and that way of taking root reminds me of how creating works when you start something new. You know, you have an idea and you're thinking, overthinking, you're in doubt maybe, you're sketching, don't know how to start. And then after a long time when you just start and you feel that it takes root, you feel that you get it, then it goes so fast and all by itself. It's nice to see that in nature as well. That brings faith, you know, that's the way how it works. I'm thinking of going live maybe on this channel, but before I do that I would like to know if you're into that, going live, and if so, what would you like to do then? Of course I've been thinking of doing a live watercolor demonstration, but I think you can find these everywhere on the web these days. And as you see in my videos, these are more about the insights and philosophy and thoughts behind the painting. So I was thinking more of having a chat with some of you live, showing what I'm doing, what the next video will be about. We can ask questions, solve problems, telling about my approach that day on several paintings. Just a Wednesday morning, for example, in the studio. And then, well, here will be the Wednesday late afternoon, and then in the States it will be Wednesday morning. But if you want me to do a live watercolor demonstration, it's no problem. I can do that as well, and then 15 minutes in between for a chat, for questions about the watercolor painting I do, and then I finish it. But please let me know that in the comments if you're into this. And when it's nice to do, we can do this every first Wednesday of the month, for example. Let me know if you like it, and if so, what would you like me to do? Thank you for joining me again. Nice to have you here this week. And now it's time for weekend. Enjoy it and check out John Singer Sargent, and see you next week.